Hello, guys. So last time we talked about principles. It's from the previous post. So we talked about the principles and how people are not adhering to the principles, and that's why you'll find differences in wealth, wellness, and every other thing. I think we haven't gotten to health, but mostly when it comes to wealth, I feel like that is a very crucial point, right? So, today we are going to explain how these principles that are not the right ones. We talked about principles like spells. So, a little recap. Principles that are supposed to be followed are like spells. So, if you do the wrong spell, it won't give you the final outcome that you intended to have. Okay, so how do they put the wrong spells and instill them in our own lives? So there are things like the schools that we go to. So if you, from a very young age, especially from where I come from, Kenya, we have these school systems. And if you go back to the history of how the schools were formed, especially in our African countries, it was all to, it was, one of the reasons was because they wanted workers from our countries. So they had to come up with a system that, when I say they, that's another story for another day. So they had to come up with a system that would instill rules, even from your unconscious mind. They will instill rules, things that will come naturally to you. Although it's something that they have done, it's like a psychological war, mental. Yeah, I would even call it mental abuse. So from the way our schools are, from the way we have those bells ringing, like it's like taming a dog. If you have done a little bit of psychology, I've done a little bit of it, and there's this. Um, it's like an experiment on a dog, about. Okay, I'll just say it. It's an experiment on a dog. So every time the bell rings, the owner gives it the meat. So every time the bell rings, the owner gives it the meat. Then one day, the owner puts the meat there without ringing the bell, and then it right in front of the dog, and the dog does not eat it. But then the owner rings the bell, and the dog eats it. Okay, so every time, that's like, it's like being trained. So the same thing that's happening to our school system, and we have to look into it. Like we need reasons. Like for now, why did they cut out for Kenya the 844 system? It wasn't the best, but looking from its standards, they were one of the best systems, but it was too much nonsensical things. If we just removed them on like part of it, and added something better, like that would make sense. But now they cut the whole system out, and they brought in CBC. So you need to ask yourself, why? For what purpose? And these people start working on us and our kids way before they have planned their lives for 100 years. As we're only planning like 10 years to come. I don't know, all that shit. So it's the same thing. So anyway, back to how they instill principles. So they come to these schools, and they want to teach you what they want to gain from you. So if they want workers, they will teach you like slaves. They will teach you how to respect rules, how to maneuver. And I feel like the school system is meant to derail creativity, and what is it called? And also to minimize the ideas that people have, the great ideas that can help. What is it called? That can help when it comes to innovation. So you find someone who has a lot of ideas through this school system. It's cut off. The ideas are like minimized. You're set into this thing for a very long time, and it's so derailing, it's so demeaning. Like if you look at the school system, especially the 844, the IGCSE is so good, but it's yeah, anyway. So they want smart workers, but now there is this CBC. I feel like the 844 system made a lot of intelligent individuals who will solve issues, and who will even overpower the powers beyond. And by the powers beyond, I mean, people who rule the countries, right? So they had to come up with another system that would diminish our kids' minds. It would minimize their thinking. Because if you look at this CBC system, it doesn't work. Honestly, it doesn't make sense. I was looking at some of the for example, the maths calculations, and something simple has been extended. Something that you would have done with 2 steps, it's now going for like 5 steps. The LCMs, the GCDs, those to you may seem like something very small, like that's not a big deal, but you need to ask yourself why. If the AI is reducing the workload of if the AI is reducing the workload, why do we have to increase the workload when it comes to education system? Although it can also be a way of finding out different individuals who have different intelligent minds. Because if you look at this system, it's like it's gauging how stupid can you get and also how smart can you get. So I think it all depends with an individual and also the people around this individual. Okay, so anyway, back to the system. We'll be going back to it, back to the system that we were talking about, the principles. So how do they instill it? They teach you things that do not really make sense, and that for me is something that is not viable. So anyway, like, share, comment, and yeah.